was one of your favorite moments from an episode we have yet to see?
From the last episode?
No, from one of the ones that we have yet to see, just upcoming, that we can tease for the fans.
There is one episode coming up where Penny is trying to lie to a girlfriend who comes back from sort of the past, and somehow gets the whole gang involved in this like crazy lie that sort of spirals into insanity. And basically she has gotten me to pretend that I'm a lesbian in order to keep the lie going. And of course, in Alex fashion, if she's going to be a lesbian, she wants to go straight to the top, so she decides to be Ellen DeGeneres. So for a full episode, I get to mimic and pretend to be Ellen DeGeneres, which was so much fun and so great to kind of incorporate the physical comedy into it, you know, with the dancing and that kind of stuff, and then just sort of it being outlandishly over the top. It was a lot of fun, and I think the episode's going to turn out really great. So that's a good tease, I guess.
From episodes that have already aired, do you have a favorite, and why?
I liked Halloween, actually. I loved the Halloween episode. I thought for each one of us we got something really unique storyline-wise, and everyone was really funny and strong, and it for some reason it ended up kind of coming together and connecting so well, and I just it's I don't know. I mean, I know I'm a little biased because I'm on the show, but I feel like that was one of the best Halloween episodes I've seen in a while. I was really proud of what we did with that episode.
And you were a good Marilyn.
Thank you. And a dude at the same time. Yeah, that was a challenge, having to talk that way for a full week. I ended up having a pretty rough weekend and trying to drink a lot of tea to get my voice back, but it was worth it, because looking back and watching it, it really did turn out nice. Really nice.
Better or worse than the dreads in the pilot?
Oh,
for you recovering.
I can't believe you brought me back.
I know, but
I just had a visual of myself in those. Yeah, that was pretty brutal, I gotta say. I think though it doesn't compare to, you know, Casey and Adam having to be in that sort of Baby Bjorn. I know their backs were killing them, so we've all had to kind of suffer for the comedy on the show at some point or another.
You have such a varied acting background. What does it mean for you to kind of be in such a spontaneous comedy? You know what I mean? It seems like a weird tangent from many other things you've done.
Yeah, it is. It's a totally different style, a different pace. It's interesting. We broke for 3 weeks for Christmas, and I came back, and I was it took me 2 days to get back into the pace and the speed and keeping up with the rest of the actors. Because I do come from a more sort of subdued, subtle form of acting, but I like to be right up there with them, so it's been a lot of fun, and even though it's different, I'm comfortable in it. I feel like I belong, and it's good. But like I said, it's going to be interesting if we get a third season to come back and get my brain back into the pace of doing comedy and improv and surrounding myself with these actors. It's like this sort of improv class, stand-up comedian class, all sort of happening at the same time. So I'm learning a lot, and it's been really, really a lot of fun.
Was there a particular scene that didn't make it in that you wish everyone saw?
Yes, I have one. Me and Damon are actually me and Damon in the in the movie theater. We had a lot of takes that didn't make it that I think will probably end up maybe on the DVD or something, but there was one line that I had come up with in an improv that was too dirty for TV, where I was eating a big breakfast and Damon's character says, you must have a tapeworm, and because I eat so much as the character, and he's like, where does it all go? You must have a tapeworm, and I improv'd, you mean my body pet? Which is kind of like Alex would befriend her tapeworm and name him, and it got a little gross, so that never made it, but I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, didn't make the cut.
So where does the relationship with Dave go from where we've seen? I mean, is Alex still worried about people finding out and what they'll think about them sleeping together?
Oh no, I think that whole thing of hiding it was not so much about regretting doing that and going back to the well, but I think it was more about we'd come so far in getting a relationship together outside of the romantic relationship. And I think the bottom line was that she didn't want to ruin that dynamic that we worked so hard to kind of get back. But for season 3, it's funny. I'm sort of on the fence, maybe like the audience is, in a way that I feel like we could go into season 3 and not be romantically connected and it work, but we could also come back and see them as a couple again. For however long they decide to do that, and I think a lot of funny stuff would come out of that too.
What about Penny?
But then there's Penny, and that sort of love triangle. So I'm not really. I almost feel like, look, if the writers want to go in that direction or in the direction of us being together or separate, I think either one or all three are going to be interesting and always going to have the possibility of at some point.
Can you give me 3 favorite TV shows that you're watching now and tell me why?
I like Oprah's Masterclass, just because it's interesting to hear other people and their life and their stories. You'd be surprised that my TV selections are interesting. I love Intervention, which is a really dark show, but I just love. I guess more for like the character study of it, to see these people in their darkest place and then to see them sort of hopefully overcome it and come back and be healthy again. So I think I'm more interested in those types of shows on an actor's level, to just kind of see where they're at that point in their life. So I'm really interested in that. I love the idea, the study of people, and maybe that's why I like the Masterclass too, because it's really the study of their lives. Anything on the Food Network. I'm obsessed with the Food Network.
Do you have a favorite chef?
I guess I would say I love Iron Chef America. I love that. I like when they battle. I like the battle of it.
Do you cook?
I do. I love to cook, yeah. So it's a lot of reality shows right there. Well, actually, Masterclass is not really a reality show. It's more of like an interview type show.
Still counts.
Yeah, I'm into the documentaries and stuff. I'm sure Casey came in and said the Kardashians.
Real Housewives.
The Real Housewives.
You know what? She didn't say the Kardashians. I was very surprised.
Oh, she didn't?
No.
I'm surprised.
Does she like that show?
Oh, yeah. She's obsessed with the Kardashians.
But speaking of how much she loves Kris Jenner, is there somebody that you love that you want to pay homage to on the show at some point? Or something, some other show? Or
the only thing that I think would be really cool, and that we're kind of, we're not getting close to doing it, but to have Kiefer come on and play my dad, I think that would be pretty. And it's at a place too where it's not. I think it would be a good timing for season 3 for him to come on, because if we would have done it in the first season, it would have looked like we needed him to prove a point, and then now and this season, I think it could have worked, but. We don't want him to feel like we want him on the show to make fun of or kind of it be awkward or weird. I think it would just be he would be a great fit. It would be awesome. It would be a great fit, and I think a lot of people would like to see it. I know I would. So it's just a matter of, with his new show and
tonight,
all the things. Well, I think it's starting again. It premiered earlier.
A couple months ago.
But isn't it in its regular time slot? He did a call
not
this morning.
tonight, but in a couple weeks.
Would you do the 24 movie?
I am doing it. Yeah, I'm doing it in April, so I'm really excited.
So you should just start putting photos of you and Kiefer on the set in Alex's apartment, and then you already did it. You planted it.
But exactly. Oh, actually, it was his idea, because when we ran into each other to talk about the movie a little bit, and I was just visiting because they were doing some stuff on the back lot. I said to him, yeah, we're doing the comedy down there, and he said, I can't believe you went and did a comedy. Like, it's such a different approach to what we did together, and this is something totally different and new. And I said, it's been really great, and the schedule is really easy, and I was kind of just pumping it up. And he was like, well, I should come on and be your dad. I'm like, seriously? You will get a call. So you better answer that phone. So, it was his idea originally, so I think, that's a good start, but who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Who knows? We'll see. He's a busy guy. But I think it would be great.
So was it a conscious decision that, I'm going to do comedy now?
Yeah.
That was something you definitely wanted to do?
Yeah, I was terrified of the idea of coming back to do TV, and doing another 1 hour drama and feeling like I had to live up to 24. I just felt like, what is going to rival that? I mean, it's going to be difficult. And also, too, I think my character in 24 was so distinctive and always in peril, and, the idea of going on and doing like playing a doctor or something for another 6 years was just not really something I felt like I wanted to do. So the comedy thing was the only thing left, really, that I hadn't done, and that was challenging enough to stay interesting if we were lucky enough to get on a show that was going to go 6 years. So I just felt like it was the right move. Now that took 2 years to happen, but patience and sticking with what you feel is right as far as a career move goes. And it was well worth the wait, because here I am on a terrific show that I'm proud of, and just as proud of as my work on 24. So.
They make Alex sometimes really smart. I'm sorry, sometimes Alex is really smart and then super dumb. Like, there's no in between.
Is she ever super smart?
No, sometimes she's insightful. Like, she'll be like, no, we shouldn't, like, start a fight between
Yeah, I think there's something grounding about her. I think she's a good friend. I think she has good advice for, like, Max when he's like, I don't feel special.
Right, like
she's like, hey, don't talk like that. Yeah, I think.
She's not all.
No, I don't think so. I think she kind of is a good friend, which there's moments where it can ground her, which is great. But then there's also like those very, very much one step behind the group kind of moments where it was like, wait, what was that joke? And it's just like right over my head. Yeah. But I'm kind of doing it a little bit like Joey from Friends, where it's just always smiling, always.
So you're the Joey.
Well, yeah, I think there's a part of it, that I feel is there. But there's also the Jennifer Aniston thing where it's like she's a good friend and she can kind of bring it back down. It's not all insanity all the time. And then a little bit of like, I just like the idea of her always happy, and always kind of having a good time and not stressed ever about anything, and a little bit of Betty White from the Golden Girls, Rose. A little bit of Rose, a little bit of Joey, a little bit of Rachel. But yet, with those three combined, we get Alex, So.
If there was a Freaky Friday episode, which character would you like to?
What's Freaky Friday?
When you switch like bodies with another
right,
character.
Okay, that was a Lindsay Lohan movie.
Yeah.
Well, before that
was okay.
Yeah.
Freaky Friday, right. If I could switch with.
If there was one episode where you could switch with another character from the group, who would you want to play?
Damon. Clutch the Pearls. I like his. I think too. It's in keeping with the physical comedy aspect of it. Like, Adam is so great at his quick one-liner, sarcastic, fast-paced dialogue thing, and Casey's really good at that too, where she could have a paragraph and just like bam, 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 I like being physical. I like the physical comedy, and Damon also does a lot of physical comedy, so I feel like that would be a really good switch, and for him to play my character would be fun. I'd like that.
I think everybody on the show gets a chance to be the most insane at certain points.
Yes, right.
I brought it up like 3 times, but so Adam was a bear recently or whatever. Have you had any personal moments that seem like particularly daunting? Like, that is so crazy.
I think me playing Marilyn Monroe with a man's voice, when I got that script, I was terrified, because I thought, how am I going to make this believable, one, and it not look like a joke, and two, we tested like, my regular voice and then them altering it. Then I had a version where I was like talking raspy, and ultimately they never altered it. They ended up using what I actually, my real performance. Mm-hmm. But it was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then also the producers saw me in the Marilyn thing. They're like, she doesn't look like a guy. Like, this is like, how did the boobs happen? And how did but then we were showing them pictures of how great some of these, like, drag queens look, and how difficult it is to tell the difference. And so it was a little out there, but I think ultimately just having all the right conversations to bring it down and to make it work, it ended up working out great. And then after that, it was a free-for-all, because I was game to do anything. I was like, if we can pull that off, we can pull anything off, really. So, but yeah, we've all had our crazy, like, what? No way. Those moments,
Last question, guys.
And if you had a magic wand and you could make the writers write anything for your character, for Alex, next season, what would it be?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I'm blown away every time I get the scripts, and they've come up with something funny for me to do. I really felt like when I started this show, I was just so happy to be on a comedy, and I thought maybe I'd get one joke a week. Like, I was really okay with that. I was okay with the concept of letting the rest of them be funny, and I'd get maybe one little zinger here and there. But the fact that they've seen that I'm game to do whatever, and like Casey always says, you're like a new comedian. You'll do anything for a joke. Mm-hmm. And she's right. I mean, I'm really in that newbie phase where I will do anything for a laugh, and so I'm just, to be able to do the comedy thing just as much as the rest of the group is, if they can keep writing me funny stuff, I'm gonna keep trying to bring it. So hopefully it stays that way.